Time for lunch now. Let's get to the kitchen, and here is Chef Judy.
Today's recipe is so simple, and it's really a throwback dish with a few modern takes on it, an antipasto salad. Now, I was at the farmer's market, so I had to pick up some fresh red pepper pasta from Peperonata Pasta. Love them. So I've just cooked that according to directions, and it's basically been sitting with olive oil, red wine vinegar, salt and pepper, and some oregano. That's the greatest thing, is you can make this overnight. It's going to be perfect for a picnic. And as we go into those real dog days of September, it's going to be light and bright. Bring in some marinated vegetables and definitely some salamis and things like that. In fact, the tip is, if you go out for charcuterie, bring home those leftovers and keep them in a little Ziploc bag. This will make the perfect salad the next day. I'll be back in just a few minutes to get started.
Back to the kitchen now for more lunch with Chef Judy.
Okay, we are ready to assemble this. Now, radicchio, which has that kind of bitter bite to it, very good, fresh ingredient, comes out of the Treviso region. And what I like about it is it just gives a contrast in the flavor, and it also gives a bright color. Whatever's left of radicchio, just saute that in some garlic and olive oil, squeeze a lemon. What a nice bright side dish that you're gonna have. Now I'm gonna add some flat leaf Italian parsley. I don't cook with parsley a lot, but when you're doing something like an antipasto salad, it really is part of that makeup. So now let's talk about our cheeses. I have some Asiago, and that's cut into little cubes. And then I have some high quality Pecorino Romano. And we're gonna toss all that in too, because that's gonna give it, again, a bit of a tang with the different ingredients. We're gonna get to the meats in the next segment, but I'm gonna add some sliced fennel right now. And this is the greatest part. You don't have to necessarily measure. You know, the recipe is a guideline. I like a lot of red wine vinegar, and I like the tang of vinegar, but you can go a little lighter if you prefer. Cut the red wine vinegar with a little fresh lemon juice if you want. So we're gonna toss this part around, and that is gonna go back in the refrigerator for about 2 hours, just where we're at. When we come back, we're gonna add the meats, but I wanna show you, I have some ricotta salata. So instead of being that creamy whipped form that almost looks like cottage cheese, this is a more solid form. It's gonna hold up really well for the salad. If you decide to use something like fresh mozzarella, that's something you wanna add just before you're ready to serve it. You don't wanna take the little fresh mozzarella balls out of their natural water to dry out. So we're gonna do this part. Let's season it with salt and pepper. It goes in the oven. Excuse me, not the oven. We're not turning the oven on today. It goes salt and pepper. It's gonna go in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. When I come back, we're gonna add the different meats, and I'll let you know where I got them from. Bring in some bright greens just to give it some extra flavor and more nutrition, and some cannelloni beans. So we'll be back in just a few minutes to finish up a simple but refreshing dish.
Back to the kitchen now. Here, once again, is Chef Judy.
Okay, while we were on break, I had a half a zucchini in my fridge. You know me, I'm always gonna shop it. So I'm gonna add that in. It's gonna be great texture and taste to it. You could even add diced cucumber if you wanted. Then what we're gonna do is talk about the meats. Now I went over to Whole Foods. They have a great charcuterie selection where the cheese section is. They also can slice them right over where the restaurant is. So I have items like speck, dried speck, prosciutto, spicy salami, and regular salami. I like the hint of spicy salami. Sometimes I'll even put mortadella in here, especially if I have some left over, because mortadella can be expensive. So we're gonna toss all that around. Now remember, about 4 hours before, we added the radicchio, the olive oil, the vinegar, the fresh fennel. So this is just coming together beautifully. Now we're gonna add some marinated mushrooms, and you'll get the recipe for your own marinated mushrooms. Really easy to make, but you can also pick them up at like an Olive Bar, anything like that. So we don't want to use too much salt because we have a lot of different cheeses in it. Now I mentioned the greens, so here are some baby greens, baby powder greens. This is my new thing I'm really into. And it has arugula, spinach, just really gonna be great. we're going to bring this Pecorino Romano over because that's going to go on top as well. Now you're probably saying, all you olive lovers, what? No olives? Sure, you can put olives in it. Believe it or not, I do not like olives. I don't even like green or black olives. No olives. So for my salad, no. But if you love olives, definitely go for it. So look at this. A little Pecorino Romano to get that bite. And what's great is this is going to pack well if you're going to somebody's Labor Day cookout or anything that it's even bright enough that the kids can bring it to school as a leftover. So I am really excited. We're going to tidy up a little bit and we're going to come back for our first bite of the day and I'll walk you through where you can get this recipe and more. Here we have it, a fresh chopped antipasto salad. Now save your little ends of salami and cheese, especially if you're going out for a charcuterie board. Save it for 2 or 3 days. This will toss up beautifully. That fresh red pepper pasta from Peperonata Pasta, fresh sliced fennel, marinated vegetables, power greens. We have a little bit of fresh oregano and dried oregano, and of course some parsley, Pecorino Romano, Asiago, and those delicious meats. If you want this recipe, just log on to mysuncoast.com, click on the recipe, and there you have it. And make sure you visit our dining partners on the dining page for restaurants and see what's new and tasteful around the Suncoast. I'm going to tuck into this a little bit and save some for you guys, and I'll shoot it back to you.